this video, we're going over the new top 5 best rank play class setups after the recent update here in Modern Warfare 3 Season 2. Some weapons receive buffs, some weapons receive restrictions. We're going over all the setups you guys should be rocking to win as many gunfights and get as many W's as possible. If that sounds good to you, feel free, drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and as always, shout out to the gang. If you guys want to shout out, make sure you guys comment Noti Gang down in the comment section. Let's get into it. For class setup number 1, we're taking a look at the MCW, the only AR you can rock currently in ranked play. Kind of crazy when you think about it, but it is rock solid even after all of the nerfs. This build is different from the one you would rock in public matches. Now for the muzzle, we are going to be rocking the T51R billeted break as opposed to the compensated flash hider. This is a great attachment on the MCW, further increasing that vertical recoil control, firing aiming stability, as well as gun kick control. The MCW is a very accurate weapon. We need to go ahead and make sure that we can go full auto across the map without worrying about a thing. Now in ranked play, we are going to be running a barrel still, and we are going to be rocking the 16.5-inch MCW Cyclone long barrel. In public matches, I do recommend running the Mammoth heavy barrel, but I do have a different variation in this video if you want to run this barrel as opposed to the Cyclone long barrel. We're going to be getting increased bullet velocity and range, aim idle sway, as well as firing aiming stability. With this attachment, it's going to be very good if you want to have a long range MCW setup. Now what we're also going to be doing is running an underbarrel on this build. Now I have another variation of this class setup, but if you want to rock the Cyclone long barrel, it is very important to run the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop to smooth up the recoil pattern, making sure that we have a very easy to use MCW at longer ranges. We're taking advantage of sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, vertical, as well as gun kick. The nerf went ahead and slowed down the sprint to fire speed. We're gonna go ahead and bump that up. With this attachment, it's gonna work well with the specific barrel we are running. Now, for the optic, things have changed. We are now gonna be rocking the marked reflector on the MCW as opposed to the slate reflector. Both are good options, but here in ranked play, because a lot of people are gonna be running around a lot more, it's very important to have an open-ended optic so you can see very easily at close range, medium range, and obviously long ranges with this build. And then finally, we also are going to be running a rear grip. We are no longer running a stock after the nerf, and we're going to be running the RB Rapid Strike grip. This is going to be a good attachment on the MCW, further bumping up sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed, going ahead and counteracting the nerfs as much as possible. This is a very important attachment to run if you are planning on running the Cyclone long barrel on this assault rifle. Once you jump into firing range, you're going to see that we have a setup that is still going to be respectable at those closer range. You guys can see here, the sprint to fire speed is still going to be quick. We are going to have a very fast ADS, and the build is going to be controllable. It's going to be a great setup if you are looking to run and gun, but at the same time, have a long range MCW setup after the update. For the man in the build, I like to go ahead and rock the combat knife. The secondary, you can run the Renetti, but the combat knife, just to go ahead and get from position to position, rotate to rotate a little bit quicker. That's why I go ahead and run this. And honestly, if you get caught without, your primary, it's a wrap anyway. I have on the stun grenade, frag grenade, the trophy system, marksman gloves, covert sneakers, as well as tac mask. Marksman gloves is going to be a good option because we are going to have reduced sway as well as flinch while ADS. So definitely go ahead and run this. And obviously the infantry vest is the only vest we can rock. This is going to be a great MCW build if you're looking to go ahead and run and gun, but still have a setup suited for longer ranges. For class setup number 2, we're taking a look at the Rival 9. I like to call this the baby MCW, a very good submachine gun that can be used at longer ranges as well. Now for the muzzle, we are going to be rocking the Purifier Muzzle Brake S. This is an attachment that we would never really run in public matches, but it's very good in ranked play, going ahead and bumping up horizontal recoil and firing aiming stability. It really isn't important to have the compensated flash hider on a weapon in ranked play because everybody is typically mic'd up calling out, so you don't really need to be off the radar because even if you are not showing up, people know where you're at. This is going to be a good attachment just to go ahead and make sure this weapon is as easy to use as possible. Now, for the barrel, we are still going to be rocking the Rival C Clear Shot barrel. There's going to be a good attachment on the Rival 9 to bump up our aim idle sway, bullet velocity, damage range, and more recoil control. That's gonna be very important with this submachine gun. The last thing you want to worry about is recoil control on an SMG build, because if you do get caught at medium range, you need to just focus on winning the gunfight and not really controlling recoil, and that's exactly why the Rival 9 is gonna be a very, very good weapon. Now, for the underbarrel, we are going to be rocking the DR6 hand stop on this submachine gun. This is very effective because it's going to be jacking up our close to medium range performance with this weapon, going ahead and giving us increased aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed here. This is going to be a good weapon to use if you're trying to run and gun and clear out a hardpoint hill and just completely go crazy. Now, for the stock, we are going to be running the MTZ stock on the Rival 9. This is going to be a good option here. Again, bumping up that recoil control and making sure we can take people out at the longer ranges a little bit easier. We're going to have increased gun kick control, aim idle sway controllability, and firing aim stability. Definitely a great attachment to have on the Rival 9 because, again, we do not want to worry about controlling recoil. We want this weapon to be as easy to use and as accurate as possible. And then finally, we are going to be rocking a rear grip on the setup, and we are going to be rocking the Vice Assault grip. This is going to be a good choice, again, bumping up our gun kick, firing aiming stability, and you guys guessed it, recoil control on this weapon, making sure this gun is going to be very, very easy to use. Once you go ahead and jump into the firing range, you're going to see here that this build is going to be really effective because we have a respectable ADS and overall a setup that is just going to be a point and shoot laser. That's exactly what you need to have with a Rival 9 or any type of submachine gun here in ranked play. And again, for men in the build, we are going to be going ahead and rocking just the combat knife, stun grenade, frag grenade, trophy system, marksman gloves, covert sneakers, tac mask, as well as the infantry vest. This is a nice setup if you're looking to shake up the meta, or if you're trying to go ahead and run something, you know, not an assault rifle like the MCW. Definitely give the Rival 9 a go. Get out your comfort zone. Now, for class setup number 3, we are taking a look at the Striker 9. This weapon received a buff, and it's very comparable to the Rival 9. Striker 9, Rival 9, they're tweaking over there. Now, for the muzzle, we are going to be mixing some things up. We're not going to rock the Purifier Muzzle Brake S, but we are going to be running the L4R flash hider here. A little bit different as opposed to the Rival 9 setup. This is going to be going ahead and bumping up recoil control as well as gun kick control and reducing that muzzle flash concealment, making this weapon a little bit easier at those medium longer ranges, so it is comparable to the Rival 9. Dude, it's all these 9s. Now, for the barrel, we are going to be rocking the Striker Elite Long Barrel. There's going to be a good attachment, making this weapon a little bit better at those longer ranges with increased bullet velocity, aim idle sway, recoil control, and damage range here. Again, another attachment to go ahead and keep it line and competitive against the Rival 9. Now, for the underbarrel, we are going to be rocking the DR6 hand stop. This is going to be a universal attachment on a lot of the submachine guns, as well as the MCW if you build the setup, you know, to work with this underbarrel. This is going to be good because it's going to be bumping up our aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed on this submachine gun. Now, unfortunately, on the Striker 9, we are have to run an optic. The iron sights are okay on this weapon. There is a build with the iron sights. I'm not going to include it because personally for me, I'm not a huge fan of it, especially when it is obstructive at closer ranges. So we are going to be taking advantage of the Mark the Reflector on the submachine gun, making it a little bit easier to use at those medium longer ranges, just in case you run into an MCW user or another Rival 9 user. Dude, this is kind of messing with my head right now, all these 9s. And then finally, for the last attachment, we are going to be rocking a rear grip here, and we're going to run the Socken ZX grip just to go ahead and bump up that firing aiming stability, gun kick control, as well as recoil control on this submachine gun. Overall, a solid attachment to use on the Striker 9, so it can be comparable to the Rival 9. What were they thinking? Now let's go ahead and jump in the firing range. You guys can see here, this setup is going to have a very, very nice ADS. It's going to be very easy to use. The sprint, this fire speed is going to be nice, and the recoil control is going to be there. This is what we need on a submachine gun, again, to kind of keep it in line and competitive against some of the other weapons that are currently being used in ranked play. For the men in the build, you guys know the drill. We have on the knife, the stun grenade, frag grenade, trophy, marksman gloves, covert sneakers, tac mask, as well as infantry vest. I'd recommend going ahead and checking out the Striker 9. I don't have this thing leveled up all the way because it really wasn't all that effective until they buffed it. Now that it is buffed, it is part of the meta. So have to go ahead and shake some things up. Now for class setup number 4 and 5, we're taking a look at 2 different variations of the MCW. One is a run and gun build, and another is one utilizing a stock. Now the muzzle is still going to be the same. We are going to be rocking the T51R billeted break, but the barrel is going to change on this specific setup. We are not going to run the Cyclone long barrel. Instead, we are going to be rocking the Mammoth heavy barrel to bump up bullet velocity and range, aim walking steadiness, as well as aim walking speed here, just to go ahead and try to counteract the nerf as much as possible. Now for the underbarrel, we are going to be rocking the F-Tech MSP98 hand stop to smooth up the recoil pattern, and also going ahead and improving our aim walking speed, vertical recoil control, gun kick control, as well as movement speed. You can still rock the DR6 hand stop or the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop on this setup, but the F-Tech MSP98 hand stop is going to be the best option. Now we are going to still run the same optic, which is going to be the Mark the Reflector, and we are also going to be utilizing the same rear grip, which is going to be the Rapid Strike grip. Once you jump into the firing range, you're going to see that this setup is going to be quite effective because the ADS is quick, the sprint out is also fast, and we are going to be having very, very quick aim walking speed with a setup that is going to be controllable at those medium ranges, so you can run and gun and take people out at longer ranges if you do get into those gunfights. Now, if you don't like this setup, we have another one. We are going to be removing the rear grip. We're going to be running a stock, and for the stock, we are going to be going ahead and putting on the RB Precision Heavy stock to go ahead and bump up the aim idle sway and firing aiming stability on this weapon. You can also go ahead and give the Warforce Precision stock a try, but the RB Precision stock is what people are starting to run on this weapon. Now we're going to be keeping the optic here. This is going to be a good choice with the Mark the Reflector, but we are going to go ahead and swap out the Mammoth barrel for the Cyclone long barrel, and we are also going to be going ahead and swapping out the underbarrel back to the DR6 hand stop. Once you go ahead and jump into the firing range, you're going to see that this build is also quite effective because the sprint out is going to be slightly slower. The ADS is going to be a little bit slower, but this weapon is still going to be very, very accurate. So it's going to be a setup that you can check out if you want to have a different recoil pattern. Even this weapon is still going to have very little recoil with these builds that I did give you. These are definitely some pretty interesting MCW setups you can try. I will go ahead and show the stock with the Warforged Precision stock. So you go ahead and kind of get an idea of how this weapon does play with this. Again, this gun has been touched, played with so many times this recent season's update. So there are quite a few MCW builds you can give, you know, a go with. Honestly, for me, I am enjoying the tried and true setup now with removing the stock, going ahead and putting on the Rapid Strike grip, keeping the DR6 hand stop, and putting on that Cyclone long barrel, just to make sure this weapon is as easy to use as possible, and overall just an absolute laser beam. But let me know down in the comment section right now, what MCW build are you guys, you know, enjoying the most? These are going to be the top 5 best guns to use, and honestly class setups here in ranked play. I honestly don't like how they continuously restrict weapons. I wish they would just let us have some fun with some other guns, but at the same time, I do understand that consistency is key, and that's what, you know, they want to have here in ranked. So if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications, and catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.